You hear a gunshot, make sure you drop to the ground. But when you get up, make sure you look in the direction of the shooter and not the victim, even though that's probably your first reaction. Basically, your eye is the key. So when you come to this school, all of the doors are locked. About 30,000 kids were absent on any given day in Philadelphia, and about half had a good reason, which means about half did not. They were truant. It is June, and look at how I'm dressed. I'm in a jacket, I'm in long pants, I'm out here at the shore. But there has been a relatively new use of a descrambler to escape the billing. Let's talk about the history of what's taken place in Chester County, Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful t-shirt, but unfortunately, obviously, somebody is making a profit off the shirt. And I think that's what some people in New York are concerned about, that some people will be profiting from this tragedy. First at 7 tonight, as each day passes, coalition forces barrel through Iraqi forces closing in on Baghdad. Military officials say the fight is on now to wipe out Saddam's key fighters. Now here's the latest from the war front. The hard-fought battles in southern Iraqi cities may become second priority as reinforcements come in and the military focus shifts to Baghdad. No stopping the firefight in south, though. Flares were fired over Basra earlier today, indicating a possible attack on the city. British soldiers are tangling every day with Saddam's loyalists there, but the world troops say they have control of the western part of the city. Another statement from Saddam Hussein isn't convincing U.S. officials that the Iraqi dictator is still alive. Iraqi Information Minister Mohammed al-Saif read a statement said to be from Saddam on Iraqi television this morning. The statement urges Iraqi civilians to fight an honorable battle against the evil allied invaders. The message goes on to say, whoever dies in such a battle will be rewarded by heaven. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld says it's interesting that Saddam didn't show up personally to read this statement. Parents of the military men and women serving in Iraq are, of course, worried about their children's safety and their safe return. And many of these parents are in search of emotional support while their son or daughter is away. An American Airlines flight is grounded and quarantined. Up next, why officials fear some of the passengers may be infected with a mysterious illness called SARS. This has just come across on the wire service, and there's no other details as to this point as to the who, what, whens, or whys on it, but certainly that's encouraging news. And of course, this is very encouraging news for a local family. James Riley, Staff Sergeant James Riley from Pennsauken. You know, his family has been waiting for some sort of word like this, but at this point, we don't know if this prisoner of war was by himself or if he was with part of a group. We don't know what city that this happened, and of course, if we get more information, we'll pass that along. Yeah, nothing. Lou Tilly is away tonight. Greg Murphy holding down the sports chair for us. Hey, and of course, talking about the 76ers. Allen Iverson so hot last night. Yeah, he was unbelievable. What a game. He's been super the last couple weeks. And I never saw a guy run so fast. He throws his glove and he just like takes off.
He ran right out of the stadium that day.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, thanks,
All right,
Greg.
See you later.
Stick around. There's much more in the second half hour of CN8 News.
We welcome you back to our second half hour of CN8 News tonight. I'm Arthur Fennell.
And I'm Angie Riccono, in tonight for Connie Cola. We continue now with the latest on the war with Iraq. Allied forces are gearing up to roll into Baghdad. The plan to reopen Chestnut Street, which is right in front of Independence Hall, is to blame for this building closure. Homeland Security Director Tom Ridge asked for Chestnut Street to remain closed to protect the hall, but Mayor John Street isn't listening. With more on the debate and the closure, we turn to CN8's Al Ganoza, who joins us live from Independence Hall with the latest. Al, to you.
Well, I'll tell you something. Robin mentioned that backdoor cold front.
Yes.
When you get one of those mixed with an upper level low, boy, you better look out then, because that's some rough
you're really
weather.
Paying attention there.
Those are my two favorite weather terms. I don't know anything else about it.
Mine is sunshine. Humor is always one way that people around the world get through the tough times, and the same holds true for our troops headed into the heart of combat in Iraq.
That's right. You got to laugh sometimes, right?
As we've been telling you throughout our broadcast, the U.S. military officials are confirming they have rescued a POW. The prisoner's name is Jessica Lynch. She's from West Virginia.
Yeah, we're getting more information on this now. In fact, the statement was just made by Brigadier General Vincent Brooks, who's been doing those briefings every day, and he just made this briefing from U.S. Central Command in Cotter. Let's take a listen.
The all-time greats.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
You got it.
All righty. First ever sugar-free chocolates.
Wow.
Tonight at 10 o'clock. Hershey's sugar. It sounds kind of weird, doesn't it?
It does sound kind of weird, but, you know, for me, sugar's the best part. I'm like, sugar.
I know, even the chocolate kisses look good, but I think it'll be a big hit.
It could be.
All right.
Everyone, thanks for watching us.
See you at 10.
course, we were waiting for word all day. Police were waiting for that ballistics match, and just a few minutes ago, as you said, they did announce that it was a match. But all day long, they've been saying what happened here last night, the deadly shooting, it was consistent with the work of the sniper. One deadly shot that seemed to ring out of nowhere.
I think he's going to hit everywhere.
While investigators wait for evidence, local residents talk about what happened.
I think it's a little crazy, honestly.
A serial sniper may have targeted their community.
Every day you worry, when is it going to happen again?
He's going to be safe here now because he's already hit this area. Southern Maryland or Northern Virginia, where's next?
Police aren't saying where the sniper hit, but investigators spent all day combing this wooded area that's right next to the Sunoco. And from where I'm crouching, you can clearly see the pump where Dean Myers was shot and killed.
We're going to do whatever it takes to capture whoever's doing this.
Investigators vow they'll catch the sniper and ask the public for help. Call in tips to the new hotline and watch out for white paneled vans.
Warehouse is right down the street, and everyone here has a white truck. It's a commercial area.
Police have stopped bricklayer Tony Mattis 4 times. Do you notice people staring at you today?
Constantly, all morning, since 5 o'clock this morning, I've been driving, and everybody's always keeping an eye. Hopefully, catch these guys soon.
They try not to look at you, but they can help it. They just look at you and just turn away.
There's hundreds of them. They're everywhere. And what's to say that one of them that you look at twice isn't going to be the one?
There are 4 right over there.
Obviously, tensions are very high in this community and all over Washington, D.C. 7 people have now been killed by this serial sniper. Now, the 13-year-old boy that was shot, he remains in critical but stable condition. His family held a press conference today where they thanked everyone for their support and prayers. We will be here in Virginia for the rest of the evening, and we'll be back much more with a live report tonight at 10. But for now, that is the latest here in Manassas, Virginia. Angie Racono, CNN8 News. Oh, and there certainly is an impact. Arthur, the city has lost $7 million over the weekend, and it is expected to lose $50 million if the striking musicians and producers don't work something out. The Broadway theaters around here offer more than just entertainment. They are the economic engine for this section of the city.
I'm not prepared to deal with the ramifications of their strike, and it's really killing me.
David Shearman waits tables at Joe Allen's. Tonight, he's waiting on no one. Blame it on Broadway.
We're the ones who are really getting affected by this because the union has protections against a strike.
That's not the case for the businesses that rely on the theater crowd. Business has dropped 60%. Striking musicians say producers want to suck the soul out of the theater to save a few bucks.
A machine will never play music and make you smile, but one man with one instrument can make you smile, or 25 people, violins and everything.
I would hate to think that when the question is asked, how do you get to Carnegie Hall, someone will answer, go to computer school.
Musicians also scoff at the idea that fewer performers could achieve the same sound.
Can you go to the New York Philharmonic and see a symphony with 7 musicians? Anybody going to do that?
So musicians have traded instruments for signs. And Robert Torho now has a lot of free time. He runs a souvenir shop across from Phantom of the Opera.
People aren't coming in buying stuff. They haven't seen the show. They're not loving it and wanting to go home with the items. So, it's gonna hurt us.
It's hurting taxi cab drivers, hotels and restaurants, people who don't bask in the limelight of Broadway, but feel the gloom when the stage goes dark.
We work on commission, essentially, so if there's no one here, I see nothing.
David normally makes $300 on a Saturday night. He says he'll probably make about half of that if the strike continues. And if the strike drags on, he says he's going to have to talk to his landlord. Now, there is good news. Both sides are talking tonight. And of course, there is a lot of pressure on both sides. 18 of the 19 musicals are dark and will stay that way until the strike is resolved. Reporting live in New York, I'm Angie Racono, CNN8 News.
Angie, I'm just curious. Over your shoulder, I see the billboard for Chicago, and as people walk by, just in your time of being out there tonight, have you noticed any reactions from people passing by and noticing that it's not happening tonight?
Yeah, everybody's talking about it around here. There was actually strikers just down this street earlier, and you saw them in that piece we just ran. And a lot of people are very supportive. They understand why they're striking. Of course, when you get to some of the people working in the restaurants, they're really feeling the pinch, and they kind of feel like they blame both sides, both the union and the musicians, for not working out something sooner, because those guys are protected. They're making big money, and it's the little guys who are really getting hurt around here. But I will tell you, we found a great parking spot tonight, and that's certainly something you wouldn't see with all of these shows around here. It's very different. Guys, it is June, and look at how I'm dressed. I'm in a jacket, I'm in long pants, I'm out here at the shore. And if you take a look at everybody else that's brave enough to come out here on the boardwalk, they're dressed the same way. We're seeing sweatshirts, sweatpants. There's a little bit of a breeze out here, so it's definitely cold, and unfortunately, this is the case in all of the shore towns around New Jersey, certainly the case right here in Ocean City.
6 kids, 6 adults, and 1 sitter. Thumbs up for the vacation.
This isn't the trip Nancy McMahon and her family planned for. Gray skies, empty boardwalks. Even the seagulls seem grouchy. But Nancy is making the most of it.
We were all out there with our sweatshirts on, and we're on the boardwalk today, and we'll be back on the beach tomorrow.
People have many ways to describe this rainy season.
It's pretty crappy right now.
I don't mind it. It's nice.
It's scary. At first it was depressing. Now I'm kind of scared that we ever see any sun.
The Bag Boutique now sells umbrellas. Who needs a beach bag? And with this weather, who wants a shore house?
Just watching my agents, they're just depressed and angry.
Everyone's wishing, hoping, praying for sun.
If we could just get 3 days in a row that it's 85, things will break loose. People will start renting.
And Maria could stop folding napkins and make some money.
And I make all my money on my tips, and it's been slow, so it's been hurting me a lot.
But gloomy weather has its winners.
So restaurants do very well, the movie theaters do very well.
The Chamber of Commerce is putting a sunny spin on this dreary weather. But notice she's wearing a sweater.
What do you think about this weather down here?
It's rotten.
Yep, everyone at the shore is ready for sunny skies. If only Mother Nature would cooperate. Okay, no beautiful sunset tonight, but here's the positive spin. Nobody got a sunburn today. And Friday is supposed to be nice and sunny, but Saturday, the forecast doesn't look too good, but I'm not going to steal Robin's thunder. And to be honest, Arthur, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, so I'm going to send it back to you, and I will let Robin explain what is going to take place once again at the shore this weekend. Reporting very cold in Ocean City, New Jersey, Angie Racono, CN8 News, back to you in the studio. It is slow going here. The train has 60 cars. They've only been able to remove 5, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Some of them are on fire. There's also 6 full of chemicals. One of those cars full of chemicals is leaking, so it is still a very active scene here tonight. As you can see, a lot of people on the scene. They are trying to remove that 6th car. If you're wondering how we're giving you this bird's eye view of what's taking place, we are standing on an exit ramp off of 395, so obviously this is not going to be an option for people doing their morning commute tomorrow morning, but most of 95 and 395, no problems, just a few exits you can't get off on. As far as the rest of downtown Baltimore, it's going to be a mess. The mayor has asked if you don't have to come down here, don't, and if you do have to, tune into the radio and hope for the best. To say downtown Baltimore is a mess is an understatement. In the past 24 hours, a train derailed and caught fire, causing water main breaks, power outages, and a traffic nightmare.
We've been attacking a very difficult problem and one that is almost dreamed up out of a tough scenario of some sort of bad adventure movie.
Water and power has been restored to area homes and businesses, but the fire still rages inside the tunnel. The heat's so intense, cars glow.
A lot of heat coming out of that manhole cover.
You can just feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Firefighters are attacking the fire from the outside because of extreme heat and poor visibility.
Hopefully this incident will conclude successfully. It's not going to be a fast operation.
Air and water quality tests show what's probably burning is cars full of paper, not chemicals. But firefighters warn this is still a volatile situation.
We want to caution people and let them know that the train was 3/4 of a mile long. We've got 5 cars out. We've made about 4 city blocks worth of progress in this tunnel. there's a lot of train, a lot of chemical, a lot of product underneath the tunnel. And we want to make sure that folk are aware that at any moment, this thing could get ugly.
There really is no timetable on when things will get back to normal in downtown Baltimore. When we first arrived on the scene today, and that was around 2 or 3 o'clock, they were saying they were getting ready to pull out that 6th car. Well, it is now a little after 10. That 6th car still has not rolled out. It's really a tedious process here because they're dealing with so many variables. You've got fire, you've got chemicals, you have sulfuric acid actually leaking out of one of the cars. The good news is that is not combustible, but it is corrosive, so certainly a time-taking process here. And while all of these train tracks are tied up, there are 24 trains that are supposed to go through Baltimore every day. Obviously, that is not taking place, so it will be a while before things get back to normal in Baltimore, and certainly a lot of people are waiting for that to happen. Reporting live in Baltimore, Angie, CNN 8 News. Back to you in the studio.